In a world that never stops moving, one small idea can quietly change everything. In a crowded workshop, a single spark lights a path no one expected. The world keeps turning, routines continue, and yet something new begins to take shape. Through Innovabble, we follow those who saw possibility where others saw the ordinary. They remind us that thriving in change is not about giant leaps, but the courage to take the first step, and let it ripple into the future. In a world that seems to spin faster every day, small ideas often hide in plain sight. They emerge quietly, almost unnoticed, in the corners of bustling cafes, cluttered workshops, or late-night offices. One person sketches a concept on a scrap of paper. Another whispers a suggestion to a colleague during a brief pause in a hectic day. At first, these sparks seem insignificant. They blend into the noise of daily life, overshadowed by larger, more immediate demands. Yet within these tiny moments lies the potential to reshape industries, habits, and even the way people see the world. Modern life is a constant challenge, full of shifting priorities, unexpected disruptions, and the pressure to adapt or fall behind. It is here, in the relentless pace of change, that Innovabble finds its pulse. The channel celebrates those who do not wait for the world to adjust, but who move with it, who bend and shift in ways that feel almost instinctive. Thriving in change is not about resisting the tide. It is about learning to ride it, finding opportunity where others only see risk. Across history, human beings have demonstrated remarkable adaptability. Civilizations have risen and fallen, technologies have advanced, and yet the capacity to pivot, to innovate in the face of uncertainty remains constant. Innovabble draws connections between these ancient patterns and today's challenges, showing that the same qualities that allowed our ancestors to survive can now guide us toward progress and fulfillment. It is a reminder that the skills of adaptability, foresight, and courage are timeless. The tension of modern innovation comes not from the idea itself, but from the resistance it often encounters. Friends may be skeptical, markets may be slow to respond, and internal doubts can fester. It is easy to dismiss a small idea when the world is filled with loud, immediate demands. But those who persist see beyond the initial noise. They recognize that every significant breakthrough begins with a whisper. Their journey begins in uncertainty, with the knowledge that every step forward is both a risk and an opportunity. Even a small idea can ripple outward in unexpected ways. A simple adjustment to a routine, a new method of solving a common problem, or a fresh perspective can start a chain reaction. It affects colleagues, customers, and communities. Innovabble captures these moments, showing how incremental change accumulates into substantial transformation. The stories remind viewers that the impact of one person's curiosity and creativity is never limited to their immediate surroundings. As the narrative unfolds, we witness the human experience behind innovation. There is the late-night frustration of failed experiments, the cautious excitement of testing new methods, and the quiet satisfaction of small victories. These experiences are universal, connecting us to the broader story of adaptation and progress. Innovabble emphasizes that thriving in change is not an abstract idea but a lived reality, shaped by effort, observation, and persistence. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. While the world will always continue to evolve, those who embrace change with intention and creativity can guide that evolution in meaningful ways. Small ideas matter. Quiet persistence matters. Adaptability matters. Innovabble shows that thriving in change begins not with grand gestures, but with the courage to act on the possibilities that exist all around us. Each tiny spark is the start of something far greater, and each person has the potential to make it ignite. Every breakthrough begins in a place of quiet uncertainty. It starts with a question that lingers longer than expected, a curiosity that refuses to be silenced. In Innovabble, we explore how the smallest ideas, often overlooked, evolve into forces that reshape the world. Imagine a lone inventor, surrounded by sketches and notes, each iteration feeling like a step into the unknown. Each experiment carries the weight of doubt, both internal and external. Colleagues may raise eyebrows. Markets may seem indifferent. Yet the drive to innovate persists, fueled by the belief that even minor insights can trigger monumental change. The tension in this journey is palpable. Small ideas rarely arrive with fanfare. They are quiet, subtle, and easily dismissed. The challenge lies in seeing potential where others see insignificance. Innovabble captures this delicate dance between vision and skepticism, showing that thriving in change requires resilience. The struggle is not just technical or logistical, it is deeply human. Fear of failure, hesitation, and societal norms all create invisible barriers that must be navigated. The pressure to conform is constant, Yet those willing to take the risk begin to glimpse the possibilities hidden within the ordinary. Ancient wisdom offers lessons that are surprisingly relevant. For centuries, societies have adapted to dramatic environmental, economic, and cultural shifts. Farmers altered planting strategies in response to climate changes. Traders devised new routes when old paths became inaccessible. Communities survived and thrived by observing patterns, experimenting, and adjusting. Innovabble draws parallels to the modern world, showing that the core principles of adaptability remain unchanged. By combining historical insight with contemporary ingenuity, creators can navigate uncertainty with both strategy and hope. The pivotal moment often arrives quietly, almost imperceptibly. A failed experiment suddenly yields unexpected results. A small adjustment opens the door to a much larger opportunity. Innovabble illustrates how these moments, though subtle, carry immense significance. They are the turning points where persistence meets insight. It is here that small ideas gain momentum, attracting attention and transforming into something that cannot be ignored. The emotional intensity is real. The relief, the exhilaration, and the validation that comes from seeing an idea begin to take shape. Reflection follows discovery. Innovabble shows that success is rarely instantaneous. The stories reveal the human side of innovation, the late nights, the repeated failures, and the quiet satisfaction of learning through trial and error. Thriving in change is a process, not a destination. The narrative emphasizes patience, observation, and continuous adaptation. By documenting these journeys, viewers gain a sense of connection to the broader story of human creativity and the power of perseverance. Each small victory becomes a stepping stone toward larger transformations. In today's fast-paced world, these lessons are more relevant than ever. Innovabble demonstrates that thriving in change requires a blend of courage, insight, and patience. Small, deliberate actions accumulate into meaningful progress. Each viewer is reminded that their own ideas, no matter how modest, carry the potential to shape the world around them. By observing, experimenting, and persisting, anyone can become part of this continuum of innovation. The path is challenging, but it is navigable for those willing to embrace uncertainty with intent. Ultimately, the journey is as important as the outcome. Innovabble captures not just the breakthroughs themselves, but the human effort and resilience behind them. Thriving in change is less about sudden inspiration and more about the quiet persistence that turns small ideas into transformative forces. By learning from both modern experiments and historical patterns, we see that adaptability, creativity, and hope are timeless tools. Every small idea matters. Every action ripples outward. And every person has the potential to spark a change that endures far beyond their own moment. Innovation often begins as a whisper, barely audible amidst the noise of everyday life. In Innovabble, we follow the journey of thinkers who notice the subtle gaps, the overlooked possibilities, and the small moments that hint at something greater. It might be a mechanic adjusting a tool in a modest workshop, a designer rearranging a workflow in a crowded office, or a scientist testing a single variation of an experiment. Each action appears minor at first, almost insignificant, yet within it lies the potential to spark widespread transformation. The challenge is recognizing the opportunity and having the courage to pursue it. The tension is inherent. Early efforts are met with hesitation, uncertainty, and occasional doubt. Friends may question the practicality. Experts may dismiss the idea as trivial. The innovator feels the weight of expectation and risk. Yet these moments of hesitation are where character is forged. Innovabble emphasizes that thriving in change is not about avoiding doubt, but embracing it as part of the process. It is in these small, often private trials that resilience develops, where patience and insight converge to create meaningful breakthroughs. History teaches us that adaptability has always been essential to human progress. From ancient communities adjusting to shifting climates, to tradespeople inventing new methods for survival, the ability to pivot is timeless. Innovabble connects these lessons to contemporary innovation, showing that while tools and environments change, the fundamental qualities required to thrive remain constant. Observation, experimentation, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty have always been the catalyst for growth, and they continue to define the path of modern creators. Breakthroughs arrive in subtle yet profound ways. A minor adjustment leads to an unexpected result. A prototype, once flawed, suddenly aligns with a greater vision. These pivotal moments are cinematic in their intensity, even if the world does not immediately notice. Innovabble captures these instances, highlighting the human emotion tied to discovery, the anticipation, the nervous excitement, and the quiet triumph when an idea begins to gain momentum. It is a reminder that progress is rarely sudden. It accumulates from persistence, insight, and careful refinement. Reflection follows each success. Innovabble portrays the emotional landscape of innovation, showing how even small victories bring validation, confidence, and renewed motivation. Thriving in change is an ongoing process. Each lesson learned, each experiment conducted, and each risk taken adds to a cumulative understanding of possibility. Viewers see that innovation is not a linear journey, but a series of calculated steps, guided by curiosity, observation, and courage. These stories encourage personal reflection on how small actions can lead to meaningful impact. In a rapidly evolving world, these lessons are essential. Innovabble illustrates that thriving in change requires both awareness and action. Minor insights, when nurtured, grow into transformative forces. By observing patterns, iterating ideas, and embracing uncertainty, anyone can contribute to change that resonates beyond the immediate moment. The key is not to wait for opportunity, but to recognize and act upon it with intention, guided by insight and resilience. Ultimately, the essence of Innovabble is that small actions can yield extraordinary results. By combining modern experimentation with lessons from the past, viewers understand that adaptability, curiosity, and perseverance are timeless assets. Thriving in change is less about instant breakthroughs and more about continuous, thoughtful effort. Every small idea, every subtle adjustment has the power to ripple outward, creating transformations that endure. And each person has the potential to turn a quiet thought into a force that reshapes the world. A single idea can appear almost insignificant at first, like a ripple barely noticeable on a vast ocean. Yet within that small spark lies the power to change how people work, live, and think. In Innovabble, we explore the journeys of pioneers who see potential in the overlooked, the ignored, and the ordinary. They move through their days observing patterns, experimenting quietly, and testing possibilities that others might dismiss. Their environments are familiar: workshops, offices, laboratories, but their vision stretches far beyond, capturing a future shaped by innovation, curiosity, and adaptation. The tension builds as these innovators face the subtle obstacles of everyday life. Questions arise. Will this idea gain traction? Will it make a difference? The world is filled with distractions, opinions, and expectations, and navigating them is part of the challenge. Innovabble emphasizes that thriving in change requires focus, patience, and the courage to continue despite uncertainty. Each small experiment becomes a test of resolve, where failures are not final but lessons guiding the next step. Moments of discovery are both delicate and profound. A simple adjustment to a design, a new approach to a routine, or a refined method of solving a problem can trigger a cascade of opportunities. Innovabble captures these cinematic moments of insight, showing the quiet intensity of progress. The excitement is tangible, the thrill of seeing potential realized, the satisfaction of witnessing a small idea expand into something impactful. It is a reminder that the journey of innovation is filled with emotion, anticipation, and subtle victories. Reflection deepens the experience. Innovabble portrays the inner world of those who innovate, the satisfaction of small successes, the persistence required after setbacks, and the quiet pride of making incremental progress. Thriving in change is revealed as an ongoing process, built from observation, iteration, and thoughtful action. The stories highlight the human element behind progress, showing that innovation is not only technical, but emotional and experiential. Each small accomplishment feeds into a broader vision of transformation. Modern relevance is clear. In a rapidly shifting world, Innovabble demonstrates that thriving in change is less about grand gestures and more about the cumulative impact of thoughtful actions. By connecting lessons from history with contemporary examples, viewers see that adaptability, creativity, and perseverance are timeless tools. Every subtle adjustment, every small insight, has the potential to spark change that resonates far beyond its origin. Innovabble inspires confidence that anyone, anywhere, can contribute to shaping the future through curiosity, effort, and resilience. Ultimately, these narratives teach that even modest ideas can create extraordinary ripples. Innovabble captures the cinematic journey of innovation, showing that thriving in change requires attention, courage, and patience. Each story reinforces the idea that meaningful transformation begins quietly, grows steadily, and eventually leaves a lasting impact. The message is both simple and profound. The ordinary contains extraordinary potential, and those willing to see it can change the world in ways that endure and inspire. Change is constant, yet the ability to harness it is what separates those who watch the world shift from those who shape it. In Innovabble, We follow the journeys of individuals who recognize that small, deliberate ideas can become forces of transformation. These innovators work quietly at first, observing patterns, testing concepts, and refining methods. Each step carries uncertainty, but also possibility. Their environment may be familiar, a home office, a workshop, a collaborative space, but their mindset stretches beyond the immediate, envisioning outcomes that others might never see. The tension of innovation is ever present. Each idea faces resistance, both internal and external. Doubts arise, resources may be scarce, and recognition often lags behind effort. Yet it is precisely in navigating these challenges that resilience is built. Innovabble emphasizes that thriving in change is not about avoiding obstacles, but moving through them with intention and insight. Every setback becomes a lesson, every challenge an opportunity to grow. It is this persistent mindset that allows small ideas to transform into lasting impact. Breakthroughs emerge gradually. A single modification, a fresh perspective, or an unconventional approach can ripple outward in ways that surprise even the innovator. Innovabble captures these cinematic moments of discovery, where quiet effort meets insight and progress becomes visible. The emotional landscape is rich, the anticipation of results, the satisfaction of validation, and the thrill of seeing an idea take root and grow. These moments illustrate that change is not always dramatic. It can be subtle yet profoundly influential. Reflection deepens understanding. Innovabble showcases how small ideas, when nurtured, accumulate into meaningful change. Thriving in change requires observation, adaptation, and perseverance. Each story reminds viewers that innovation is a human endeavor, shaped by curiosity, courage, and continuous effort. By connecting modern experimentation with lessons from history, Innovabble demonstrates that the principles of adaptability remain constant across time, guiding those who wish to influence the future. The long-term lesson is clear: thriving in change is a choice, an ongoing process, and a mindset. Innovabble illustrates that even the smallest idea can initiate transformation that reaches far beyond its origin. Every incremental adjustment, every persistent effort, contributes to a larger story of progress. Viewers are encouraged to see their own potential, to recognize that their ideas, no matter how modest, can ripple outward to reshape communities, industries, and even the way people live and think. Ultimately, Innovabble delivers a message of hope and empowerment. Change is inevitable, but the ability to navigate and influence it is within reach. By embracing small ideas, cultivating resilience, and acting with intention, anyone can participate in the unfolding story of innovation. The narrative reinforces that thriving in change is not about waiting for opportunity, it is about creating it. Each individual, through careful observation, thoughtful action, and persistent curiosity, can spark transformations that endure, inspire, and redefine what is possible.